What's up, y'all? I'm not the type to really talk about money and stuff like that. However, we have to because as we continue to talk about the Clarissa Shields and Kay Scott fight and everything, one of the parts about the fight was the money. Okay. So the commission has released the base pay for both fighters, Clarissa as well as Kay. Mind you, this does not include any other sponsorship payments they may have received, any pay-per-view that they may have received, or anything else internationally that Kay Scott, for example, may have received. So it says that the disclosed base purse for Clarissa Shields was $500,000 and Kay Scott is $54,320. It says, note, disclosed commission purses only represent the base contract amount reported for regulatory compliance and do not include undisclosed pay-per-view percentages, sponsorship deals, or international broadcasting bonuses. So if, for example, Kay Scott got paid because they broadcast this fight in Australia, we won't know how much she got paid for that. Okay. And I'm hoping she got paid something, because to come all the way over here from Australia and make $54,000 as a fighter, I mean, I don't know what that translates to into whatever, money and everything that they have over in Australia, but it doesn't seem like a lot, right? To train all those months, to do everything you need to do to get in shape, and then only make $54,000. And yes, $54,000 to a regular person is a lot of money. It's more than some people make in a year. But again, we are talking about the entertainment business. It's too much money out there for you to come all the way from Australia and make only $54,000. So again, I'm not saying that's all Kay made. I'm just saying that is the base purse, and that is the undisclosed amount that we will get as far as in writing. Anything else that she receives, pretty sure she's going to keep that to herself. Now let's get to Miss Clarissa Shields. $500,000. All right. Mind you, what sponsors did she have? Okay. I'm going to ask this again. What sponsors did Clarissa Shields have? She had put out a flyer asking for sponsorship a few weeks before the fight. Do y'all remember that? I have it here. So this is why sponsorship is so important. A lot of people don't really understand the business side of things when it comes to the entertainment business. And I'm not claiming to know everything myself. However, I do know that when the people have the patches on their clothing, that means that the brands have sponsored them, as in giving them money to wear those patches. And it's a lot of money that could be made in sponsorship, because sponsorships lead to other contracts to do press or, any type of advertising or anything like that. So a lot of money can be made from sponsorship. If you remember, there are endorsements that people receive for millions of dollars. Okay. Haven't had that happen for Clarissa yet. So that's why these things are important, because when people start talking facts and figures and everything, you have to know the basic knowledge of how things work, right? So $500,000, again, it's a lot of money. It's more than some people make in a few years. But when you have someone that brags so much about how much money they make and how much money they worth, calling everybody else broke, it doesn't imply that you are as rich as you say you are. Now, with that being said, we don't know how much money she got from whatever she's making with Win Records, because, again, we don't have everything. However, you would think that somebody who turned down $2 million to fight Cyborg would have made more than $500,000 in this fight. Some people say that Clarissa didn't do much to get the $500,000 because of who she fought in the ring, and that's up for debate. But it just, again, lets us know that everything that she may say isn't necessarily true. Okay. At the end of the day, it's a lot that you have to go through to be a boxer. And for someone who's been in the game as long as she has, think about it. Clarissa has been boxing since she was 11 years old. She's been professional for multiple years now. For her to only have made $500,000 as the base pay in this fight, it's just not enough. It's just not enough. And then to be boastful and brag about being paid the most money out of any woman in the sport, it just doesn't give that, especially when there are documents floating around saying that Taseki, somebody on your undercard, somebody who's not even a professional boxer that was in the ring, made $550,000 just to lose the fight, essentially, and you won as a professional and made less than her. It just doesn't make sense. And that's why it's just very important to sometimes close your mouth and stop running your mouth so much. Because when things like this happen, it just makes you look like a liar. It makes you look like you just, boasting and bragging on something that's not even true. Okay. It's not giving that you're as rich as you like to claim, especially when we know that there aren't any other revenues of income really coming in like that. We all know that she's on social media and she has her pages and her YouTube channel and everything, but it's still not giving the millionaire status that she'd have you believe. Okay. And that's why I say a lot of times it's just best to be humble and gracious. You don't have to give any details because I don't believe that anybody would even care how much money she made on this fight if everything wasn't just so exaggerated and big when it came to her. Like, I don't recall ever having this much to talk about when it comes to something as minuscule as this. Everything that she does, says, wears is under scrutiny because it's never as she makes it seem. And there's a lesson in this. There's a lesson to sometimes understand that less is more, to understand that had she not been so braggadocious and boastful about being so rich and calling everybody else so broke, talking about everybody else's money, people wouldn't be interested to see what she's doing with her money and how she's spending her money and what her money is looking like. There's a lesson here to just kind of mind your business so then people won't be all up in your business. You see? And the reason why this video is being made is because, again, we covered where Chris Cyborg has been calling her out for I don't know how long, wanting to fight, offering her $2 million. She acted as if $2 million. She's like, that's not enough. That's not even enough. But then here you are taking $500K. Here you are, trying to get people to lift bans against you so that you can have more opportunity to make more money. You turned down MVP, talking about they didn't have enough money for you. So I'm pretty sure it was more than this. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lesson here to watch what you say and what you do, because then it comes back on you and it makes you look bad. By no means am I saying that $500,000 is not a lot of money, because it is. It's absolutely a lot of money. Okay. But it does not hold up to what Clarissa boasts and brags about. It does not. You would think that she would have cleared on the base level at least 1.5 million on the base level at the very least. Heck, I would go for the 2 that she turned down from Cyborg. And even more, because if you telling Cyborg $2 million isn't enough, and then we see you, spending out your money, blowing it on purses and, whatever else you want to do, and all these flights and house, cars, you talk about the hair, the clothes, and all of this stuff. Like, come on. And by no means am I trying to tell anybody how to spend their money. By no means am I trying to minimize the bag that she did make. It's just, it's not giving what she would have us to believe. It's interesting. I'd be interested to know what she would have said she made off of this fight as her base pay if this information had not been released. I'd like to know what number would have popped in her mind to tell everybody that she made. But, y'all tell me what y'all think. As usual, we're going to keep watching because at this point, the show is a show. Every time we turn around, it's something else. And it's not necessarily anything good that we find out. A lot of times it's just confirmation of the lies and all of the games and everything that Clarissa wants people to believe, when all you have to do is be yourself. There's nothing wrong with just being honest if you're going to say anything at all, because who said she has to say anything? She does not. She does not. But what I am saying is, when you do speak, why does it have to be a lie? Why does it have to be an embellishment? Why does it have to be so far from the truth that it's just ridiculous when the truth is found out? I'll talk to y'all in the next one.